Hi, guys, and welcome back to Mystic Mamas. And if you're new here, my name is Dakota, and I'll be your host this week. Hi, welcome. I do want to say that Danielle is a bit busy these past couple of weeks, so I'm going to take over for a while. One thing being the hurricane. I think now it's a category 1, but it is supposed to hit where she moved, which is Corpus Christi, where we're actually from. And so, just want to actually take a moment to send some love and prayers to the people who have been affected from the hurricane, Jamaica, and any place else that has had an impact from what is going on. It's really scary, and I know that these people are going through it. And so I just want to send them some love and some strength and just, overall compassion because what they're going through is tough. So just wanted to start out with that, but the purpose of this episode is actually to give you guys 5 tips when manifesting your desires. And if you don't know what that means, or what I mean by that, is that when we're in this process of manifesting all that we desire, sometimes we can get really stuck in the how and when it will happen. And the how and when is not our job. The only thing that is our job is the why and what. So what do we want to manifest and why? Why is it important to us? And whenever we get into this, this manifestation process, sometimes it can take a week. Sometimes it can take 5 years. It just really depends on how big the desire is and what the universe has planned for you. So it's really important to cultivate that inner knowing of, you are taken care of from the universe, and that your job is not the how or when it will occur. Your job is just to have that desire and to keep focusing on it and to go after your goals and your ambitions. So that leads me into advice or tip little number 1, and it is to get super clear on what it is that you want and step into that. So sometimes I'll just use me as a personal example, but I've been in a situation where I've thought I really wanted this manifestation, and it's kind of been a blur. Like, I've wrote it down and I thought that's what I wanted, but I needed to get more clear on it. So, for example, depending on, I'm going to talk about human design a little bit in this episode. So if you're familiar with human design, great. And if you're not, I would suggest going to myhumandesign.com, where you can get the app and fill in your information. I think it's your birth date, the time you were born, where you were born, and I think that's it. It's kind of like astrology. And it will tell you what kind of manifestor you are. Either you're specific or you are non-specific. So specifically for specific manifestors, which is who I am. I'm a generator, but I have a specific manifesting process. So I need to get clear on all the details. If I'm manifesting a new home, I need to know how many windows that home is going to have. And is it going to be a 1-story, 2-story? And what does the backyard look like? And really step into all of those small, minute details in order to get clear on what it is my manifestation needs to be in order for me to achieve it. And the more specific you are with the universe, the better, if you're a specific manifestor. Now, if you're non-specific, you want to actually step into the energy of what that thing would make you feel like. So for instance, manifesting a new home, how would that make me feel? It would make me feel elated. It would make me feel excited and make me feel like there's new possibilities in my life. You really want to cultivate and tap into those feelings. And you can also do the details if that's something that you enjoy. You always want to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And so really cultivate the feeling of, what it is that thing will bring you. Maybe it's obtaining a new job. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's, I don't know, anything that you want to achieve. You really want to tap into the feeling. And if you're specifically get into all the details. Now, if you don't know your time or you don't feel like going to look all this up, just tap into how you feel. When you're manifesting, what brings you more joy? Is it to really focus on the details, or does that overwhelm you? Or is it to really cultivate those feelings? Because doing either or for both type of manifestor is going to be beneficial. So just tap into what you feel like in those moments and really, it'll help you get along in the process. And I think doing that also gets you in this excited state. When I think about all the details, sometimes, yes, it can overwhelm me. So I just don't think too much of the details. But the things that would really make me happy, like thinking about where it would be located and is it a 1-story or 2-story and what does my backyard look like and do I have a pool? Like all of that stuff is so fun. So really tap into that energy of fun, which will be another tip that I'm going to expand on later on today. But yeah, so really tap into the energy and the details of it all, because this is going to help you, one, focus on your goals, and two, just get clear on what you want. The other part of, getting clear on what you want and stepping into that is this is still tip number 1, by the way, is to step into that. So what do I mean by that? It means taking aligned action, taking aligned, inspired action. Sometimes we can get really in our heads about all of the details and all of the things. And oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. I don't know what's next step to take. I have so much to do. And then we get into this paralysis by analysis, and then we don't take any action at all. So it's important to take the next possible step for yourself. And so let's say I am manifesting to move, which I am, by the way, which is actually a manifestation that is coming into fruition for me. I'm super excited. We're moving back to Corpus. My boyfriend got a great job. And yeah, so all things are falling into place for me. But within that, something that's really helping me manifest on what I want is like, okay, what does that look like for me? And what is the next step that I could actually take? And the next steps that I could actually take were to help my boyfriend find the job. So I was literally looking up jobs for him and sending him them that way. On my side of things, I was working on everything that I knew could also help us in that path and on that journey. And I feel like doing all of that has helped us come into this place of, wow, we're really getting to have the manifestation that we've been looking for. And it's really processing the emotions along the way too. But the next step that for me that I could really take in moving in this process was literally sending him jobs and just looking as well. But also, I was more so stepping into my own alignment and what I knew was next for my life, which is, if you haven't already seen, I'm going to just plug myself really quick. I am fully stepping into the coaching world. I am an embodiment coach, and I'm actually taking free clients. So if you feel called, I'll leave that in the show notes and you can tap on that and let's get a free session. I'm not going to sell you anything at the end. I literally just want to, practice embodiment with you and spread the information along the way, because it has literally it made me feel so liberated in everything that I'm doing. And so, yeah, that's just a little tidbit on my life. But going back to the tips, really step into that next actionable step. So maybe it's building a business for you. I don't know, right? I'm just making up whatever I think that maybe you are listening and maybe it correlates with your life. So maybe it's building a business. Okay, what is the next step that I can actually take? Okay, maybe it is taking on clients and really getting that practice in. Maybe it is just changing your bio on Instagram, which is what I did too, and helping you feel more aligned with that path that you're taking. It's just taking the next actionable step that will help you lead to that manifestation faster. And why do I feel like this is leading into the manifestation of me moving is because I know that we're not 100% certain on how work will be over there, the type of job that my partner has. It can be rocky with hours. And so I know when I'm stepping into my coaching business and we both have a job going for us there, it's going to be beneficial financially for us. And so I know that me stepping into my path as he steps into his is just, getting us and pushing us faster to the process and manifestation where we want to be. And so, yeah, that's the next step for me. Your next step can be X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, but really get clear on what it is. Okay. Something that I've learned is making a 12-month plan. If you think that this manifestation will come in 12 months, or you can just set it to that date, or maybe it's a 3-month plan or whatever, but it's taking each month and writing down your goals for each month. So say in month 12, you want to make 100K, right? Okay. So what is the next possible belief that you believe that you can manifest and achieve? Maybe it's making 10K a month. And then you keep going higher and higher. And maybe the next month is 30K. Maybe the next month is 70K. Maybe the next month is then, you keep going higher and higher until you're really reaching those goals. It's so that when you set these goals with your manifestation process, you're not feeling overwhelmed. So it's just taking that next actionable step and stepping into your highest self and really being and embodying that person that would already be attaining the thing that you want. So 100K, how would she act? How would she go about her day? What would she be doing in her time that downtime? Maybe you're already working a 9 to 5 and you want to build a business on the side. Okay, what is she doing in the downtime? Is she sleeping and watching Netflix, or is she literally manifesting and creating the life that she desires? Which obviously she's creating the life she desires. So get up and take those actions. It's all about, taking that aligned action. So tip number 2, stop comparing your manifestation process to other people. This is big for me because I think sometimes when we're on social media, which Danielle and I have both talked about, it's easy for us to compare, and it's easy for us to see that other people are getting their manifestations quicker, or it seems that way, and we're over here manifesting for years and we haven't achieved everything that we wanted. And I mean, I'm sure you've all heard it before. Comparison is the thief of joy. And so really putting yourself in that comparisonitis can really take the joy out of the manifestation process. And manifestation is all about having fun. The universe sent you here to have fun. The universe did not send you here to live a life that you hate. So step out of that comparisonitis game and really tap into who you are and amplify who you are and allow your process to be your process and your journey to be your journey. And just really step into that. Something that I've also learned within human design, I told you I was going to bring this up a few times, is you are not like the next person, okay? When you get really deep into human design, you start to learn about the different energy pathways. I'm not an expert on this, but it's almost like the chakras inside your body. And each of these can either be defined or undefined. I believe that's what it's called. And depending on what you are in that chakra area is how you live your life. And you can be living it in an aligned way or in an unaligned way. And something that I just realized within learning all that is that that I am very different from Danielle, and we manifest very differently. I always use Danielle and I as like a little, not comparison, but understanding of where I'm at in my journey, because obviously she's like the closest person to me aside from my partner. And so it's just easy for me to really see her, and I know how she works and I know how I work. But for this whole time that like we have been working together, I am someone who is more of like a pusher, I guess. I don't push, but I like often lead like what we're doing next and the things that we need to figure out and make sure we're meeting on time and we have a structure in place. Like that is me. I'm someone who goes and does. And Danielle is more of someone who takes action, yes, but it's more in a state of all is coming to us in divine timing and surrendering to the present moment. But looking at her human design and looking at mine, that's when we're both living in an aligned life. Mine is, yes, to also give myself rest and surrender, but it's also okay that I'm in this process of wanting to continuously be doing things while she is in this process of wanting to surrender and allow the universe to take more control. The universe is always going to take control, but that's something that I've learned that, it's okay for me to push Danielle, but just because I am not always in the process of surrender in a sense, right? I'm more so wanting to push and do and be on top of things doesn't mean anything about me. It's just a part of who I am. And I think that gives me so much validation with how I work and what I do. And just makes me feel good, because sometimes I'm like, man, should I be feeling that way? Should I be more in an energetic state of surrendering? And I am, but I'm also such a person who likes to take action that like that's actually me living an aligned life, as long as I'm not overdoing the action and burning myself out, right? So it's kind of really balancing out the two, whereas Danielle is a more surrendered, trust the universe type of person, and I love that for her. But yeah, I've always just been very ambitious and like goal driven and like, what's the next step? And let's have structure and let's be organized, and in order for me to feel good. And now I understand why. And it's because of that human design aspect. So I really encourage you to dive deep into human design if you can. If you have questions, I do know a little bit. I just have to go through some notes. And so let me know. I would love to kind of look up your human design. It's always fun too. Maybe we can book that coaching call and I ask you questions like, what you're wanting support on, and I can help you with the human design as well. I'm not an expert, but I'll teach you what I know. I love just teaching what I know, as always, obviously, right? Okay. So the next thing, or the next tip, I keep saying stuff like that. Okay. The next tip number 3 is believe that what is meant for you is coming or better, and it won't pass you by. Okay. This is really getting out of that like win state. Like, when is this going to occur to me? And why isn't it occurring to me already? And like, shouldn't it be here already? It's really believing in the universe and trusting that what is meant for you is coming. You manifested it. And if it's in alignment for you, it's going to come, or the universe is going to give you something even better. And it's really honing in that energy and cultivating it through every step of the way. Yes, we're going to have a roller coaster ride. That's literally what life is. And being a human, being a soul, and with our human experience it's just about going through those roller coaster rides of emotions and obstacles and, testing from the universe. You say testing, but I like to really think of them as trainings, because the universe isn't testing you. It's training you for the next thing that you need in your life. So it's really just going through those trainings, accepting them and processing them, and really just knowing that even though I'm having this obstacle, it's here for a reason. I wouldn't be getting it if the universe wasn't going to grant me something else, or if the universe knew I needed it. The universe is always knows more than you. So just trust in that, and also trust that it is coming, even if it doesn't 100% look like exactly what you pictured, because the universe will always give it to you better. It's never going to give you something worse than what you're manifesting. It's always going to give you what you need. And so, yeah, just really honing in and that belief and cultivating that trust with the universe is going to be so, so powerful in your manifesting process. I think also doing this it alleviates so much pressure, right? I feel like it alleviates so much pressure and like the need to have it all now. Sometimes that's not your karmic lesson that you're supposed to learn in this life. I learned that recently. Not this part, but what I'm about to tell you. But whenever we come down to earth, especially if, you're spiritual, we all come down with these karmic lessons that we're meant to learn. We all come down with these overall lessons that we're meant to learn. And sometimes the process that we have isn't going to look like someone else's. Well, it's because they have a different karmic path than we do. And so sometimes the lessons that we learn will be the lessons that they learn in a quicker way, or not quicker, but just use, for example, right? Say you're manifesting something someone else has, and they manifest it so quickly, and they're living their dream life, and you're seeing that play out. And a part of you wants to be like, man, going back to the comparison, right? Like, man, why isn't my life like that? Like, I've been doing all of the things, I've been saying all the things, like, how come I'm not getting the success that this other person has? Well, it's because your path is maybe to learn, that you need to love yourself along the way in order to get to that manifestation or that desire that you're wanting. But theirs maybe has to be them to obtain that thing in order to learn that they need to love themselves, and that their true self is like who they need to be. And so it's just really dependent on where you're at in your process and what you came down here to learn. So we could have the same learning lessons, but it's dependent on, the process of it all with where we're at. Hopefully that's making sense. But yeah, so kind of going back to the comparison, don't compare yourself to someone else's, because we all have different karmic lessons to learn. We all have a different thing to learn in this lifetime. And the reason why someone may be getting the success faster than you is because they're learning the lessons that they need to in a different form than you. Like, maybe yours is taking longer because literally you need to learn it in a different way. And it's just accepting that, right? Just accepting and holding space for yourself, and really knowing that even though mine is taking longer, I know it's still coming, because I wouldn't have this desire. I wouldn't have this like want and yearn for this thing if it wasn't meant for me. So yeah, just going back to step number 3, believing in the process and know that it's coming for you, and really just know that it won't pass you by if it's something you fully desire and it's in a heart-centered way. Tip number 4, sorry. I'm like trying to read my phone, and then it's like, I just need to bring it up. Okay. So keep getting deeper with yourself, but have fun with it. Now, I feel like I've kind of already talked to you guys about this throughout the last couple of tips, but keep diving deeper. If you listen to my last solo episode, I believe it was, I just really talked about how in the beginning of my process, I really did some inner child work, and then I felt like, oh, that was all I needed to do. Or it could be shadow work, or it can just be diving deeper into what you want and who you are. I did a lot of that work in the beginning, and then I felt like as time went on, I didn't have to do that work again. But that's the thing with spirituality and manifestation in general. It's about learning more as you go and learning more deeper about yourself as well. And so it's really important that you keep utilizing the tools and the all of the things that you have learned, and really diving deep with what you want and who you are, and getting to know yourself more and more. And so don't stop learning. Be a student of life forever. You want to consistently learn and consistently grow, because if you're not, then obviously, the process of your manifestation I wouldn't say may not come, but may take even longer. I think as I've been growing in this process, the past couple of literally like months, I've been growing so much, like I see it in myself. And I'm also seeing all my manifestations come into fruition, and me actually taking aligned action that scared me beforehand, and going after my dreams and my desires rather than waiting for them. And so really, keep getting deep with yourself, keep understanding yourself. If a fear comes up, dive into that, understand your limiting beliefs, work through them, rewire, and really hone in on your heart-centered space. Go after the things that you love. I think sometimes can get into these places of feeling complacent, but it's in those places of complacent and when we're feeling comfortable that we have to get uncomfortable so that we grow, and so that we really expand and be the person and version of ourselves that we know we can be. And so never stop working on yourself, but also make sure you're cultivating joy and fun within that process. I think for a long time, me personally, I've been working so much on myself that I wasn't giving myself room to have fun. And when I would have fun, I would be shaming myself for not working on myself. And that's just not the vibe. Like I said, the universe brought you here to have fun. It didn't bring you here to hate your life. You wouldn't be living this life if you weren't meant to have fun. So really cultivate that joy in everything that you're doing. And if you're doing something like the work, the exploration, the inner exploration, tap into how can I make this more fun? I know we kind of talked about this in the joy episode, but really tap into, if it's saying your affirmations, oh, well, what can I say that's going to make it fun? Or, can I create my affirmations and put a fun song under it, or listen to a fun song while I say my affirmations, or dance my affirmations, or whatever brings you joy. Really make sure that you're stepping into that. And it doesn't mean to stop doing what you already enjoy while you're in the process of really doing this inner exploration. I think sometimes, when we are doing, I'll just use me as an example. Okay, for instance, like I feel like because I'm doing this inner work, I shouldn't be going out and partying or going out and drinking or doing the things that I once loved pre having a baby. And now I'm coming to this understanding that I can have both. And not to say like, partying is everything, but it's okay for me to have fun. And I think I've put that on the back burner sometimes, and then like shamed myself for when I would have fun. And that's just not the vibe. The vibe is to love ourselves through every single thing that we're doing, and also just really find that compassion and understanding. And if it was your best friend, what would you be telling your best friend? Like if they told you, I've been doing all this inner exploration and then I went out and I partied and I had fun, but also now I'm feeling some type of like, why did I do that? Tell them, what would you tell them in that moment? For me, I'm starting to really talk to myself like I would a best friend. I'm like, yo, you needed to have fun. You've been working really hard. You deserve to have a moment of peace and funness, and you don't always have to be working on yourself. It's really about cultivating that fun for yourself and cultivating that self-compassion and love. So I guess that can be another tip, but just, keep getting deeper. Getting deeper can literally just be cultivating that compassion and self-love for yourself. It's about holding that space for yourself and literally talking to yourself as you would your best friend. And tip number 5, which I posted a little bit on this, we just made a meme about it, but it's to celebrate yourself along the way. This process of manifesting your desires, it is not actually about the destination. It's not about you obtaining that thing. And yes, although those are such great things that we want and we get to have, but it's also about enjoying the journey as you're going through the process. It's really about celebrating all your wins and celebrating every single part along the journey. And I'm really starting to understand that more, because for a long time, I have been just very hard on myself. I have not really allowed myself to, be proud of everything that I've accomplished, because I always felt like it wasn't enough. But now I'm coming to terms with myself and really cultivating that self-love and compassion, and understanding that every single portion of this journey needs to be celebrated. So something that you can do, like tangible thing that you can do, is literally take a moment to reflect. Reflect on everything that you've accomplished this year thus far. It can be this year, it could be last year, it can be all the years. Really think about all the things that you have accomplished, even as small as literally, I don't know, writing your affirmations in the morning, or maybe it's even just listening to this podcast, because this can be your daily dose of inner exploration. So be proud of yourself for everything that you're doing for yourself, and be proud of everything you have accomplished, even if you label it as a failure or a success. Like, failures aren't failures. They're just learning lessons. That's all it is. We can't actually ever fail. And fail to who? Who are we failing to? The only person I guess we can fail to is ourselves. But if we're taking every single failure as a lesson, then it was just all part of the journey. And it goes back to really understanding that every portion of your journey is meant to show you something. You're meant to learn something. So just really tap into, celebrating yourself fully. And something that I've also thought about is, like, when it comes to celebrating yourself, if you're a mom, which I'm sure some of you are, well, most of you may be listening to the podcast, but once you're a parent, or you can be an aunt or an uncle, or you have a best friend who has a kid or whatever, but whenever you are, teaching your kid something and they do something so small, for one, like when Harper claps, my daughter, when she claps her hands, I'm like, yay, that's so amazing. She clapped her hands. Or when she climbs on the couch, yay, that's so amazing. She got up, she can climb. When she says a new word, like, you're celebrating everything for them. And that's the energy that we really need to cultivate for ourselves throughout our lives. Like, celebrate yourself like you're celebrating a child learning a new thing for the first time. Celebrate yourself like you're celebrating, I don't know, maybe your dog goes potty outside for the first time and tells you they need to go potty. Celebrate yourself like you're celebrating someone you love. And in every single step of their journey, there's always something to be grateful for, and there's always something to really celebrate in your life. So if you would like to take some kind of tangible action, I would say wake up in the morning and write down like 3 things that you can celebrate. Maybe it's even just waking up earlier that day, or I don't know, getting up in the morning and doing something, and it doesn't really even have to be anything, because living life is a celebration. You waking up and opening your eyes is something to celebrate. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, soul, for allowing me to wake up and open my eyes today. It's every single thing that you can really take in and just celebrate. And yeah, I think that's just like a beautiful process to have, and a beautiful thing to cultivate, because a lot of the time, I think, especially in American society, we're pushed to our limits to burn out. And also during that time to burn out, we're not really celebrating everything that we've done. And so, yeah, just take a moment, take a deep breath, and celebrate yourself right now, actually. Thank yourself for all the work that you have been doing and that you are doing, because it is so important. And yeah, you deserve to be celebrated just like a child. You deserve to give yourself all the compassion and love just like a child. And yeah, you deserve to live a happy life. And so just to go over the 5 little tips one more time. So tip 1, get super clear on what it is you want and step into that. Tip 2, stop comparing your manifestation process to others. Tip 3, believe that what is meant for you is coming or better and it won't pass you by. Tip 4, keep getting deeper with yourselves, but have fun with it. And also hold compassion for yourself as well along the way. And tip 5, celebrate the journey along the way and along your process. All of these tips will help you really get out of that state of when will it happen and how will it happen, because we won't ever know those. And even whenever we are manifesting our desires, we really don't know if it's going to look exactly like we pictured it. So just having an open heart and an open mind along the way is really going to help you still cultivate the energy of manifesting your desires, but also just really be in the energy of like, it is what it is, because when you can detach from the outcome, your manifestations come quicker and really, don't stop you. Don't hinder you, because sometimes we're holding expectations. And when the expectations aren't met, we're then in this disappointed state. But if you're in a state of like, if this happens, great. And if something else happens, great. Like you're in the energy that either thing happening won't matter. You're still going to live a good life and you're still on the right path and you're still in alignment with everything that you want and you desire. And what is meant for you is coming, right? This or something better, always. So those are the 5 tips I wanted to leave for you guys today. Hopefully, you're picking up what I'm getting down and it's resonating with you. And if you did feel like it resonated with you, I would love if you left us a review and shared it on your Instagram story, shared it on your TikTok, share it with a friend what am I trying to say? Share it with someone you think would benefit from this episode. Oh, words hard today, but yeah, I love you guys. I guess I wanted to leave you with a little affirmation, but I didn't write it down. Give me a moment. Let me think of one for you guys. Well, actually, I kind of already have one. Ready? What is meant for me won't pass me by. That's a great one. So let's take a deep breath in and out. What is meant for me will not pass me by. This or something better. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. I love you and I hope you have a good rest of your week. And yeah, reach out to us. We also have, I'm going to plug this really quick. We also have the Highest Self Journal that we released. We also have the Universal Laws that we've released. I am offering coaching for free. So if you guys feel called to any of that, I'll leave it in the show notes below. I love you and I hope you have a good day for all this time. Bye.